So I've just woken up from a nap after having had my tongue tie and lower lip tie release, which was done a few hours ago. And these are my initial thoughts after getting that done. So first thing that happened after I went in there is that they, injected me with all this stuff around here to make the area numb, which is good because now, like, about 30 minutes, an hour after the surgery was done, I started to feel it be very painful. So right now it's very, very uncomfortable. But yeah, so they numb the whole area and then they get the scissors out and they start, cutting the area. And she took photos before and after to see the difference and stuff. But essentially, what happened once it was finished is that she said, open wide and then put the tongue to the roof of the mouth. And I was like, oh, like that. And they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I was like, I can do it. I can do it. It was really amazing, actually. So it's like this. And now my tongue, I can touch it to the roof. So you see that? And I couldn't do that before. It was not possible for me to do. Also, this area here feels very, very loose. This area here, that was a lot tighter before. Also, it's a bit less, not completely, but there's definitely a bit less tension here in the neck, here and here. What else is there? I found that initially, and I don't know if this is partly to do with um, the numbing drugs and whatever, but I I found it really, really easy to swallow immediately afterwards. I had this berry smoothie that immediately afterwards, and it was kind of cleansing. It was almost like it was going only onto the hard palate and not anywhere else in the throat. But that seems to have weared off a little bit. Although it's definitely easier to take pills. Like I've had to take some Nurofen and stuff in it. Now it seems to go straight down rather than me having to like force it to go down. So that was interesting. I also find that when I'm swallowing, I find it easy to get that bit that I'm kind of missing. Like I find like nothing kind of gets left behind, whereas often with when you're refluxing stuff, like there's always that like bit there that you just can't really swallow to go down. But I find that's a bit better now. What else is there? Oh yeah, this thing. Like it's still moving a bit, but if I really concentrate on it, it's like trying to move the tongue without moving the jaw. So before I do like this, I'll be like that. But now, because the tongue's a lot more flexible, like I can do this and do that stuff. And now, if I concentrate on just using that muscle and nothing to do with here, I can get it to move side to side. Which is really cool because I couldn't do that before. So all that basically means it's a lot more flexible in here. I find that when I'm speaking, it's definitely a deeper sound. You can't hear it right now. I've just woken up, so I need to, drink some water and be a bit freshened up, and then maybe have these working, like my breathing muscles working a bit better. Then I'll be speaking better. But it definitely feels a little bit clearer. I've obviously not tried this. I can't really say this, but falsetto is a little bit easier. I can't. I'm not really going out and singing at the minute. But yeah, like very positive after that thing. Like it's just so much more flexible, and as I said, the swallowing's definitely easier, definitely improved. Breathing. So now, like immediately after, again, this has kind of gone down a bit, maybe because I was on the drugs before with the numbing stuff. But it's like the tongue would naturally now sit at the roof of the mouth. So when I'm stopped talking, like the tongue kind of goes there. It was definitely more pronounced immediately after the thing. But because I'm not meant to do that at any of these exercises, like going up, I can go side to side, but not up for the first 3 days. It's hard for me to say if that's going to be like that, but definitely when I'm lying down now, I find because I'm on the side, like I find that the tongue is definitely going to the roof, which means I'm nose breathing rather than mouth breathing when I'm resting, which is great. What else is there? I find it slightly easy to use the diaphragmatic muscles down here, like the breathing muscles down here, but not loads. And I've seen some people say that they feel like they've expanded a lot. Maybe I've expanded a bit here, but it's not been like this amazing expansion. I wouldn't say that so much. And I don't feel taller. I saw some people saying that online. although it is early days, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I'll obviously keep reporting back as I go, but the main things are that tongue's obviously a lot more flexible. I feel a lot less tightness. It's like almost like this was all stretched. It's almost like stretched down a bit now, and I'm like, is this how you guys have it all the time? Like, not you guys, but like people that I know and stuff. And like this area just seems so much looser. Like especially this bit here, which is always very very tight. Um, yeah, yeah. I will say, and I'm glad as I said that, and I made the video before going in to have the surgery done. That I was very glad to go to the voice specialist last week who was talking about the high larynx, because otherwise right now I'd probably be a little bit disappointed if I didn't know that the reason I was having loads of trouble singing was primarily due to having a really, really high larynx rather than just all focused on the tongue tie. But this should definitely make it a lot easier to sing in certain regards. Like, for example, really, really high notes should be easier. And also, like, just being able to loosen the jaw and separate that from the tongue action. Because before, it's like when you sing, your tongue kind of gets out the way, but before my jaw would come with it because it's so intrinsically attached. But now, because the tongue is going to be a lot more separate from the jaw, it's still moving there, you see, but when I really concentrate, then I can get it a bit better. Not best example. So yeah, really, really high notes and separating the tongue from the jaw. Those are the big things for singing, and also being able to be more expansive in this whole area too. And also, there's actually quite a few things there. And also at night, it should be a lot easier because in the morning you're not going to wake with as many sore throats or have like a dry mouth because you're going to be breathing through your nose more, which is humidifying the air, so it hydrates you, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I'm learning always, all the time. So yeah, this is part of the journey. But yeah, just thought I'd let you know my initial reaction, as well as the side to side bits. Because the reason they don't want you to do up and down, like holding stuff, is because these stitches here, they don't want them to tear. That happened once with one of her patients, although she's done about 700 of these things. So I'm just gonna be doing side to side, and then after 3 days, I can then do the tongue stretches and stuff. I was doing them after the surgery, and it's definitely like, I'll do one for you. I'm not gonna do more than that, right? Like the tongue, I just, and that you see that area just below. It's like this whole area just below the tongue. And all the tongues are a bit just, I mean, it's all the tongue, but this white bit, and I find that's now can kind of jolt more. It can kind of move a lot more. You see, it's kind of coming up, whereas before I could not do that. So yeah, anyway, as I said, I'm learning. It's all part of the process, but I'll speak to you guys soon over the next few days.